Hi and welcome. My name's Jane from Fit for Your Life. So I'm here to give you a little talk today about osteoporosis. So first of all, what is osteoporosis? Often called the brittle bone disease. So it's basically where some of your bones have got holes in them. So they're more porous, which means they're basically going to be more fragile and more likely to break. So that's what osteoporosis basically is. It's very common in your spine and your hips. Those are the most common areas, but you could get it in your wrists, your legs, your ankles, elsewhere. And again, it's more common for women, particularly after the menopause. We haven't got the estrogen, the hormones, lots of other things going on that make us prone to getting this disease. So what can we do about it? We can make sure that we're eating healthily for a start, making sure you're getting enough calcium. You can have other foods like bony fish, green vegetables, green leafy vegetables, all this sort of stuff that can help promote your bone health. But most importantly is exercise, weight-bearing exercise. You need to be starting this in your early 20s, 30s as we start losing bone mass, muscle mass, from as early as that, but particularly if you're postmenopausal, then you also need to be doing it. You may have been diagnosed as not osteoporosis, but osteopenia, which is a precursor to osteoporosis. So again, it's important that you're doing some weight-bearing exercises. So what do I mean by weight-bearing exercises? I mean things like walking, marching on the spot, not swimming, not even sitting on a cycle because you're just sitting on your sitting bones. Great for loading your sitting bones, but not your legs and your arms. Okay, so I'm going to go through some exercises now that you can do to help strengthen those bones. So let me just step back from the camera a little bit, check you can still see me. We've got a little bit of a light issue going on with that one. Okay, that's better. All right, so your main exercises, main muscle groups that we want to work to strengthen are your thigh bones, your hip bones, and obviously your spine and your wrists. So a very simple exercise you can do is sitting and standing. So let me just grab myself a chair, got a little stool here. So I'm going to sit down and stand back up, trying not to use my arms, okay? So I'm going to squeeze my glutes, my bum. I'm using those thigh muscles, pushing through my feet, standing up, sitting down. Now you can make that more advanced by doing squats. So again, you're going to bend those knees as you just squat down and up. How can we make that more weight bearing? We add in things like dumbbells. So here we go, pair of dumbbells. Again, we're just going to squat down and up. So great load bearing. I'm holding it, so I'm holding some resistance in my arms. I'm using my body weight as well, so weight bearing in my legs. If you haven't got dumbbells, you might have a band. You could use a band. Or you just use your own body weight as resistance. So with a band here, standing on the band, I'm going to make it nice and short. And then as I stand up, I'm putting it up, getting resistance that way. Again, you could do exercises sitting in the chair. So another nice one to do for strengthening your thighs and your muscles is just a leg extension. So you're sitting there. Let's just move that back a little bit. Stretching your leg out. Okay. So it's not really load bearing, but you are strengthening the muscles which are going to support around it. So again, we could make that a little more resistance with a band. If you're able to stand up though, the best way here is your lunges. So you can have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back on the toes, and you're lunging down and up. Okay, so we're load bearing on those legs again, building bone strength. And again, you can advance that by holding some dumbbells in your hands or using again the resistance band. But if you haven't got any of those things, just some lunges, either on the spot or some walking lunges are quite a good one to do. So then you're challenging your balance as well. Now, balance is again another issue with osteoporosis, as the majority of people fall, break their hips, causes complications, and then that leads to death. So you're not actually dying from the disease osteoporosis, but you're dying from complications such as a broken hip fracture, maybe bleeding out, or then it just builds on to other things as well, more further complications. So often people who have osteoporosis are given hormone replacement therapy. They're advised to reduce their weight, cut down on smoking and alcohol, and to increase more calcium and vitamin D, and also to take appropriate exercises. So let's come back to those exercises again. Some step-ups. If you've got a staircase, you can just simply step up and down your stairs. You can march on the spot. This again is load-bearing. You can go out for a walk, get your sunshine, get your vitamin D. Okay, so we've done quite a lot on our legs. What about, as I said, people often hurt their wrists and fall over, break a wrist bone, and that's when they discover they've got osteoporosis. So what can we do to load bear on our wrists? Easiest option first, hands up against a wall. Oops, I'll just come in shot there. And you're going to do some press-ups. So you're just leaning forward, weight bearing. You can then take that harder by coming down to the floor. Bang. All right, so hands and knees. Even just staying on your hands and knees is weight bearing. You might want to take one hand off and then the other hand off. So you're just building up strength, supporting your own body weight. You can then progress that into some press-ups. Moving on to things like planks. Now, planks are quite a good one as well because you're encouraging your core, so we're strengthening the muscles around your spine, your back muscles, your tummy muscles. And you can do planks on your hands, or you could do them on your elbows, you can do them on your knees, or on your toes. So there's lots of variations there. So working some of the muscles around your spine to support your core, and also working a little bit of your upper body on your wrists. You could do more specific wrist exercises, wrist curls. So you're basically just bending your wrist, flexing it like this. Now you might want to hold a light dumbbell or a tin of beans. So I've got a lighter dumbbell there. This one is 1 kilogram. And what I might do here is actually sit on the chair so that my upper arm is supported. And then I'm just letting the wrist drop down and up. I can do it with my palm up or with my palm down. So again, that's just some way that you can strengthen the muscles around to support your wrist. Okay, so I hope that helped today. Some information on osteoporosis, what it is, what you can do to prevent it, what to do if you have got it. Just want to make one more comment on it, just to avoid certain exercises. So you want to avoid things like forward flexion. So for example, in yoga, hinging forwards, any exercises which involve leaning forwards, that's going to put a bit too much strain. And in Pilates in particular, anything where you're, again, folding forward, so you're flexing forward, your spine stretch, or the saw one where we're rotating and flexing. But otherwise, try and do some exercise for mobility, for strength, flexibility, and also important, your balance. If you've got any questions and you want to know some more information, just leave your comment below, send me a message, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.